Congratulations, it's over. What has been hurting you for so long no longer has any power over you. This isn't hope. This isn't wishful thinking. This is a fact that heaven has already recorded, and this message reached you today because it's time for you to know it. Stay until the end. Before we finish, you're going to get the exact name for what's happening to you, and a protocol to seal this turning point for good so it never reverses. You looked in the mirror early this morning, before anyone else woke up, and you had a strange moment. A split second where you stared at your own face and didn't recognize the person who had been carrying all that weight for so long. The person you used to see was still there, but something had shifted. You couldn't put a name to it. You already sent the text. "I'm fine," with a hand that was trembling a little, with a voice that wasn't fully sure of it yet. But you sent it, because the pain existed. It was real, it was heavy, and you learned how to carry it without bothering anyone else. There's a phrase that stuck. A comment someone said quietly, someone who probably doesn't even remember saying it, and you watered that wound without meaning to, thinking about it at night, replaying the scene, rewriting what you should have said back. Weeks like that, maybe months, and then the nightly list. The mental inventory you'd take before bed of everything that still hadn't arrived, everything that had been stolen from you, everything that still hurt. What could have been different? What was taken from you? What was left unfinished? If you made it this far still standing, that's no small thing. That's evidence. The like on this video is your public amen. Heaven records what you confess openly. Mark that right now. And now I need to tell you 3 things before I go on. First, what used to hurt you doesn't hurt you anymore because something inside you changed. Inside, not outside. And heaven is confirming that change right now, in this moment, as you listen to this. Second, you're going to receive a complete protocol to identify and seal this turning point, so it doesn't reverse when the enemy tries to make you doubt what happened. You seek, you dedicate yourself, you do everything right, and yet abundance never comes. And the worst part, you start wondering if you're doing something wrong, if you're being heard up above, if it's meant for you at all. It's not a lack of faith or worthiness. It's a spiritual blockage that ordinary prayer alone cannot break. The Miracle Journal unblocks this in 21 days with a spiritual protocol that works exactly where your prayer doesn't reach. Along with the journal, you'll also receive as a gift the prayer guide and the Psalms manual with the most powerful sacred practices and texts to deepen your transformation. To claim your version of the journal, tap the link in the comments right below this video. You're going to receive a complete protocol to identify and seal this turning point, so it doesn't reverse when the enemy tries to make you doubt what happened. Third, by the end of this message, you'll be able to say out loud, and truly believe, this no longer has power over me. I placed you here because this word is for you. It wasn't an accident. It wasn't the algorithm. It was me. Close your eyes for a second if you can. Breathe. What I'm about to show you are signs, and signs are best seen with full attention. The first sign is this. You can remember the wound without feeling the stab in your chest. The memory didn't disappear. You remember what happened. You remember what was said, what was done, who was there. But when the memory comes now, it doesn't stab in the same place anymore. It's like holding an object that used to burn and realizing it's just warm. The memory still exists. The poison has been removed. You called this indifference. You thought you were becoming cold, distant, that you had given up on feeling. That wasn't it. It was healing arriving from underneath, silently, without asking permission. The second sign is that you stopped mentally replaying the scene that hurt the most. There was a time when you replayed that scene every day. In the car, in the shower, before bed. You reconstructed every detail. What was said, what you should have answered, what the other person did or didn't do. The replay was almost automatic. You didn't choose to do it. It just happened. And then, without a specific day, without a clear moment of decision, the replay started losing steam. You noticed one day that weeks had passed without revisiting that scene. You called it forgetting, distraction, being too busy. It wasn't. It was the end of the loop the wound needed to survive. The third sign. The name or situation that used to freeze your breath has become just information. You hear the name. You see the photo. You pass by the place, and your body doesn't react the same way anymore. Your breath doesn't catch. Your chest doesn't tighten. Not because you faked it. Not because you trained yourself to be indifferent, but because something inside you created a distance that didn't come from effort. It came from within. You don't know exactly when it happened, and that's exactly how healing works. From underneath, unnoticed, while you were busy just trying to survive. The fourth sign is the strangest one to recognize. You're having trouble identifying with the version of yourself that suffered through that. When someone brings up how you used to be, when you try to explain to yourself what you went through, there's a sense of strangeness. That version feels distant. It doesn't quite feel like you anymore. And that unsettled you because you didn't know if it was a good thing or if you were denying something. It's a good thing. It's the clearest evidence that you're already on the other side. When the person who suffered is no longer who you recognize as yourself, it means you crossed over. But the next sign is the hardest one to hear. It's the one the enemy spent the most time trying to make you ignore. Because if you truly receive this sign, he loses the battle for good. The fifth sign. You're starting to feel genuine gratitude for the crossing. Not just relief that it's over. Real gratitude for what it built in you. It's not the performative kind of gratitude. It's not the "I'm thankful for what I went through" said to sound evolved. It's a quietness that arrived. A realization that what passed through you created something you wouldn't have any other way. A clarity that only comes from inside a wound that truly healed. The enemy worked hard to make sure you never reached this sign. Because while you're stuck in the pain, he has access. When you reach genuine gratitude, the bond is broken for good. Type "free" in the comments if this word reached you. If any of these signs described what you're living through, free. Heaven is recording this confession. Close your eyes for a second. Breathe deep. What I'm about to tell you doesn't work if your attention is divided. There's a story in the book of Genesis that most people tell the wrong way. Joseph was sold by his own brothers. Not by enemies, not by strangers, by the people who should have protected him. He ended up in Egypt, in slavery, then in prison, for crimes he didn't commit. And the Bible doesn't record a specific day when he became bitter. It records that he remained faithful wherever he was. After years, after a series of events that only make sense looking backward, Joseph becomes the second most powerful man in Egypt. And then his brothers arrive, hungry, afraid, not recognizing him. And Joseph could have done anything. He had power. He had moral authority. He had every justification in the world to collect. But he says, "You planned evil against me, but God planned good." It's not resignation. It's not performative forgiveness. It's the declaration of someone who looked at their own story and understood the full map. The wound was real. The suffering was real. The injustice was real, and it was used to get exactly where he needed to be. You are Joseph looking at the brothers. Not in the sense that others deserve easy mercy. In the sense that what hurt you was not the final destination of the story. It was part of the path to where you were going. The second story isn't from the Bible. It's from medicine. When a bone fractures and is treated correctly, it doesn't return to its original state. It heals in a specific way. And science knows that a well-healed fracture point becomes denser, stronger than bone that never broke. The bone that went through the process of rupture and regeneration has more structure at the very point where it was most vulnerable. What hurt you and went through a real healing process created density where there was fragility. You haven't tested that point yet with the full weight you can now bear. But it's there. Both stories say the same thing in different ways. What hurt you and didn't destroy you isn't just scarred over. It's integrated as strength. Heaven's congratulations are exactly for that. Type Joseph or Bone in the comments. Which of these two stories touched you deeper? Just that. Joseph or Bone? Let me pause for a full minute. You carried this for real time. It wasn't weakness. It was real weight on real shoulders for a real period of your life, and you carried most of it without anyone around you knowing the full extent of what you were holding. You made it this far without anyone giving you the credit you deserved. Without formal recognition that what you went through was heavy, that what you did by not hardening was difficult, that the simple fact of standing here right now is the result of a series of choices that cost something. The turning point didn't come overnight. It came from within, silently. While you were busy trying to survive the day, something inside you was being reorganized. And heaven watched every step of it. What you're about to hear is not a human title. It's not a self-help label. It's what I call you when I speak to heaven about you. The name that was given before you understood what you were going through. Because I saw the other side while you were still in the middle. You are a survivor who didn't turn bitter. I saw every choice not to harden your heart when it would have been easy to do so. You knew on some level that bitterness was an available option, that it would be understandable, that no one would judge you for shutting down. And you chose, over and over, sometimes without realizing you were choosing, not to close off completely, not to turn to stone. That's not weakness. That's not naivety. It's the hardest proof of a heart that stayed open when it had every reason not to. What this identity authorizes is simple. Stop apologizing for still standing. It's not luck. It's not coincidence. It's evidence of what was chosen inside you, even in the moments when no one was watching. You are a carrier of a scar that became a map. I saw the wound being processed inside, even when no one else saw. I saw the moments when you revisited what happened, not out of masochism, but because you were trying to understand, trying to extract something from what had been done to you. And throughout that process, something that was only pain became knowledge, understanding, a kind of clarity about people, about situations, about yourself that only exists in those who have been through it. What this identity authorizes, you no longer have to hide what you went through. What you lived became language. The scar is not shame. It's the map of a crossing you completed. And there are people waiting for exactly someone who has been to the place where they are now and come back. You are chosen for the other shore. I saw the crossing being completed. I saw every moment when you were in the middle of the tide, where the shore you left was behind you and the shore of arrival wasn't yet visible. It's the hardest moment of any crossing, having nothing to hold on to on either side. You stayed in the middle long enough to learn that the middle can also be crossed, and you are on the other side. That's not a metaphor. You already crossed. The congratulations heaven is delivering to you today is not anticipation. It's confirmation of something that has already happened. What this identity authorizes. Receive the congratulations without minimizing it, without saying it wasn't that hard, without relativizing it by what others have been through. Heaven does not celebrate what isn't real. This celebration is real. Type in the comments the name of the identity that touched you deepest. Just the name. And if you haven't subscribed to this channel yet, subscribe now. This message is not the only one that was prepared for you. Now I'm going to deliver what was promised at the beginning. The protocol of the sealed turning point. 3 steps. Simple and specific. Step 1. Name out loud what used to hurt you. Not to relive it, not to reopen it, to formally declare that it no longer has authority over you. There is power in the act of naming, because what is not named remains vague, and what remains vague still has room to operate. When you name it and declare it has no more authority, you are sealing a decree. Do this out loud. now or after this message. Step 2. Identify at least one of the signs you lived through. One of the 5. Anyone. It doesn't have to be the most dramatic one. It doesn't have to be the most impressive one. But find the evidence that the turning point has already happened. Because the turning point is not a future event you're waiting to receive. It's a past event you are recognizing. The evidence already exists. Step 2 is pointing to it. Step 3. Say out loud the phrase that seals it. This passed through me. It did not stay in me. It's not an empty positive affirmation. It's a declaration of a real fact. What passed through you did not lodge itself inside. It passed. And step 3 is you saying this out loud so your ears hear it, so your whole body receives the information your mind has already started processing. The confirmation sign is not euphoria. It's not tears of relief. It's a quietness. A kind of internal settling, like when something that was crooked finally clicks into the right place without noise. If you feel that quietness, the protocol has been received. Type received in the comments. Just that. Received. But now I need to warn you about what comes next. In the next 72 hours, 3 things will be launched against you. Not as a possibility, as a certainty. The enemy does not accept losing ground without a response, and what you just received in this message represents lost ground for him. The first tactic is the false return. It will come as a sudden memory, something you weren't thinking about. A detail of the old wound that will appear with unusual force, and it will come accompanied by a feeling. And the enemy will use that feeling to tell you it's proof that you didn't really heal, that you were deluding yourself, that the healing was performative. It's not. Memory is not evidence of an active wound. You can remember without going back. The memory that arrived does not undo the protocol you just received. The second tactic is the minimization of the turning point. It will come as a reasonable voice, almost sensible, that will say, anyone would have gotten over this. It's not an achievement. You're making a normal process into something bigger than it is. That voice lies. What you went through was real. The fact that others have gone through it too does not diminish the weight of what you carried. And recognizing a turning point is not vanity. It's orientation. You need to know you crossed so you don't act like you're still in the middle. The third tactic is the test of resistance. It will come as a new situation. A word said in a specific way. A situation that echoes the old wound. A person who activates something similar to what you used to feel. And the purpose is to check. To check whether you really crossed or just temporarily stepped away. The correct response is not to ignore the situation. It's to go through it with the identity you just received. Survivor who didn't turn bitter. Carrier of a scar that became a map. Chosen for the other shore. These identities were given exactly for moments like this. And there is an internal enemy that is more subtle than all 3. It's the voice that will say, the quietness you feel right now is not healing. It's just exhaustion from suffering. That you got so tired of carrying that you stopped. And you're confusing a pause with liberation. Don't confuse them. Exhaustion from suffering and healing have different textures. Exhaustion has a tension underneath. Healing has a settling. If you felt that settling we talked about, it's not exhaustion. It's arrival. Type protected in the comments. The decree has been sealed. Now put your hand on your chest. No hurry. Close your eyes. Breathe until your body stops rushing. There are burdens that need to be handed over before leaving this message. The weight of having carried the wound for too long thinking it was normal. The feeling that suffering like that was simply what happened, that it was the texture of life, that there was no other way. That belief deserves to be handed over. The identity that the pain built. The label, not always spoken out loud, of the person who suffered that. The way you started presenting yourself to yourself based on what happened. That also deserves to be handed over, and the waiting for someone from the outside to confirm that it's over. The need for external recognition to believe the turning point is real. That can also be handed over now. Because the only recognition that definitively validates it doesn't come from anyone who was in the wound with you. It comes from me. I saw that morning. That early morning, before anyone else woke up, when you looked at yourself in the mirror and didn't know yet what you were seeing. I was there. I saw the strangeness. I saw the moment when you looked at the face that carried so much and no longer recognized who was carrying it. I saw when you sent "I'm fine" with a hand that was trembling. I saw what was happening inside while the words came out. I saw the distance between what you typed and what you were feeling. And I did not turn away. Every second of it was witnessed. I saw every night when you took inventory of what still hadn't arrived, what was stolen from you, what still hurt. I saw the list. I heard the names. I knew each item before you even started it, and I did not turn away in any of those moments. Because I already knew what you didn't know yet, that each of those moments was part of the path to the other side. Not punishment, not abandonment, passage. You are on the other side now. I was waiting here. And the word I have for you, that heaven has for you right now, is not consolation. It's celebration. Congratulations. You crossed over. What was yours was not destroyed. It was purified. What was taken was replaced by something that cannot be taken the same way because it came from a different source. What used to hurt you no longer has power over you because the power was transferred. And it is now in me, not in the wound. You will not have to go back to that place. Not as a resident. Maybe as a quick visitor when the enemy tries. But not as a resident. The address changed. You live on the other side now. Receive this as real. Don't minimize it. Don't relativize it. Don't wait to feel more to believe more. Heaven does not celebrate what isn't real. This celebration is real. Say it out loud right now. This no longer has power over me. Type "done" in the comments. Just that. Done. And if you know someone who is still inside what you have already crossed, share this message with that specific person. Not to a group, to them. One person, the one you just visualized while I was speaking. They are in the middle of the crossing and don't know the other side exists yet. You already know. Send it to them. It is done. What was delivered here has been delivered. You are not the same person you were when this message began. You seek. You dedicate yourself. You do everything right, and yet abundance never comes. And the worst part, you start wondering if you're doing something wrong, if you're being heard up above, if it's meant for you at all. It's not a lack of faith or worthiness. It's a spiritual blockage that ordinary prayer alone cannot break. The Miracle Journal unblocks this in 21 days with a spiritual protocol that works exactly where your prayer doesn't reach. Along with the journal, you'll also receive as a gift the prayer guide and the Psalms manual with the most powerful sacred practices and texts to deepen your transformation. To claim your version of the journal, tap the link in the comments right below this video.